So I actually got a tripod. Well, it's not the greatest tripod. It'll work. So how's everybody doing today? So my name's Chris, and this is my old mill. Um, I haven't done an introductory video to the YouTube channel yet, to my channel. Uh, I've been recording on my phone, and I really haven't made too many videos of the mill. I've taken 1,000 pictures, but I just never sat down and made videos. I finally got a tripod. I picked up this little cheap little tripod. I'll get a better one, and I'm using a Samsung 360 that I've had. I finally figured it out. So this is really kind of the first real video. I'm gonna go through and give you guys a little bit of history on it. I want to do a walking tour, and I'll give you the history of the mill, what I plan to do at the mill, how I came to own it, just kind of the whole thing. But it's gonna be a walking tour, so I'll show you the whole thing. So let me go turn the lights on. I gotta open a couple doors, and then I'll get with it. Thanks. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I didn't turn the lights on yet. I don't want to start the generator just yet. Okay, so the mill was built in 1833, and they've done a little bit of construction since then. They've added on to it, but you can see the original building. The original building, and I've got some pictures and an oil painting that shows the building. I'll show you guys. So right where that chimney is and the garage hooks onto it, that's the corner of the original building. And then right to the left of that awning support, you can see that upright right there. To the left of that is new construction. So the middle portion of this is all 1833. The only thing that is different is on this upright, or not upright, but right above this awning here, there was a window, and I'm not exactly sure why they took that window out. I'm going to be putting that window back in. All right. I had to turn the lights on. I'm running the lights off a generator at the moment, so sorry about the noise. Okay, so this is the main first floor, and this, as far as I can tell, is still all original 1830s, 1850s, 1860s. So there was two brothers. I'm going to go through the history a little bit. Two brothers came from the town of Napoli here. So the mill's in East Randolph, New York, and there was two brothers by the name of Hall that were kind of the first settlers in the area, and they came in. They were pretty established from where they came from. I can't really find too much information prior to their arrival here, but they're pretty well off apparently. So they came in and they built a lumber mill, and they built the grist mill. This mill, the lumber mill burnt down sometime within like the early 1900s, and this continued to operate as a grist mill until, as far as I can tell, maybe 1950s, 1960s. It passed hands a couple times. So the Hall brothers came in and they built the initial grist mill. I'll go ahead and walk through. I'm going to walk and talk, so sorry about this. So they ran the grist mill, the Halls. They ran the grist mill until about probably maybe 1860, 1870. And then they sold the mill to a family by the name of Holdridge, Erastus Holdridge. So here's one of the scales. This one's actually fully operational, which is pretty cool. Some of the old grain chutes. They have this one blocked off for some reason. I don't know why. You see some of the hand-hewn beams. So they sold the mill to Erastus Holdridge in about 1860 or so. I found one actual photograph of the Holdridge family from 1886, where they're actually they're all standing in the doorways and the windows, posing for a photo, which is pretty cool. I have to see if there's a historical society that owns the picture, so I have to get permission. I have to see if I can post it online. I don't see why they wouldn't. I'm not trying to make money off the picture. But the Holdridge family, they ran it until that's kind of iffy. The Holdridge family, they ran it until I think the early 1900s. Maybe 1910, maybe 1920. And then after that, this is kind of view out the back window. Some of the stuff that was in the mill. I'll do a video explaining all this. This is actually pretty cool. So after that, they had the Glover family purchased it, and they ran it as a grist mill until probably about 1960 or so. After that, apparently it sat and kind of fell into a little bit of a disarray. It sat pretty unused. From what I can find, it sat just it was abandoned after. Sorry, I'm looking at the view, so I'm not walking too fast or anything. It's part of a library that they had later on in the mill's operation. So this is the other scale, the other Fairbanks. They're both Fairbanks scales. This one isn't operational. I gotta restore both of them. Fix them. So around maybe 1960, 1970, the next people to pick the mill up was a retired Army lieutenant colonel. And they came in and they turned this into, as far as I can tell, they're the ones that actually removed all the milling equipment. I'll stop saying actually. They're the ones that removed all the milling equipment. They sold off the millstones. There's a a water wheel outside. One of the water wheels. Apparently there was two, an overshot and an undershot. One of them's outside. The other one, I guess, just deteriorated. So the colonel came in, and he opened up a recycling center and a center for alternative energy learning. They experimented with like early wind and solar, hydroelectric. So this is an oil painting. I'm going to talk a little bit about the history and then talk about some of the stuff that's in the mill. So this is an oil painting painted in 1895. I've got to get it out of here. Everything's kind of just sitting in here. And then this is the Alternative Energy Center's workshop. That's a glass crusher for the recycling center. Everybody that's been in this place has left something. Nobody actually cleaned anything out of here. So there's old workshops. There's stuff from the mill. There's stuff from the energy center, the recycling center. Let's see if I can move this real quick. Here's a picture. That's the colonel, Sheffield. That's his name. They came in and wanted to open up as a recycling center. This is an early wind turbine that they were experimenting with. They had all kinds of experiments going. Outside, I'll show you. Outside there's a solar water heater. There was a solar air heater, I think. This was a library. This was the library for the learning center. They had all kinds of bookshelves on this wall, and then old chalkboard. That is I think it's a movie projector or a slide projector. That's one of their windmill. That's one of the wind turbine prototypes that they were playing around with. And this, I guess they had this set up. They gave tours to local schools or anybody that wanted to come by, basically. So this is one of the exhibits that the kids could actually use and play with. But it's a bicycle generator, and then they just had it hooked up to headlights. It's like a proof of concept, kind of. Old bottles. I'll do better videos of this and actually showcase some of this stuff. But this is kind of interesting. I found a whole stack of these, and these are the order books. If I can open one. These are the order books for when it was Glover's Mill. And pretty much kind of everything that they sold, milled. I found stacks of them in a box. This is lumber. Just, it's cold, sorry about the nose. This is all the lumber and timber that was left over. This is some of the, that was a main beam off the third floor where they've cut and added new things. So I'm opening an 1800 style general store, and I'll be using a lot of this to build the countertops and some of the shelving and just whatnot. This is a stack of 1800's windows that was left in here. I guess it's like 1930s, 1800's. So when I got this, there was a wall right here, and this place was just filled to the brim with trash, construction trash, just basically like a century's worth of junk everywhere. So I didn't get a video of me cleaning it out, or of the building being cleaned out. I wish I did, but I wasn't thinking about it at the time. There's some more windows. So the Colonel, they had a full scale recycling center here. They ran glass, aluminum, everything, and they took the water wheel, and they took the water wheel out actually, and they put in a turbine, a Pelton wheel, and they were creating all the power for the mill. They were creating through hydroelectric. And there's a pond up above. It's all iced up right now. I have one video of it on the channel, but there's a pond up above that was fed through a dam, probably like a mile off in that direction, and that fed this generator. They were making enough power. They were actually selling back to National Grid. They received accommodations from the Department of Energy, the town mayor. Okay, so I'll show you something. So you can see this little quarter wall, or this little half wall right here. That is the original wall to the mill. And if you look, how it corners off right there and then comes around, there's siding right here. You see the back side of it. That's the original siding to the mill, and that's the original back window frame. This is all new construction. Newer, I mean, sometime after I think 1860, I think they added some of this on. So I'm gonna finish this siding. I'm gonna re-side this corner wall with this old lap siding, and I'm gonna put the window back in so you can actually see where the original building was. This is the second floor. Those dark spots. I'll get a flashlight. I'll do another walkthrough. Those are grain storage bins where that hole is. And then in that creepy back there's another room. I've never been in it, but there's shelving and all kinds of stuff in there. Probably a dead guy too. Who knows? This is a part of the mill chute. where they separated different types of grains that they were running. This is one of the grain bins. And you can see remnants over there in the corner. Remnants of the grain still there. This was a corn. They milled corn in this one. Let me open this up. All right. Okay, there we go. Give you a better picture of it. There's a back door over there. I'll open that. That's a really cool view to the stream. But this is one of the experiments they were running. This is a solar air heater that they were playing around with. And inside there, those are soda cans that they painted black, old Pepsi cans that they painted black. And then there's a two ports inside that they would just blow the air through. And they had another larger one in here, but it was destroyed, so I threw it out. And that's how they heated the air up here. That's one of the grain bins. Try to get a better shot of it. So you can see the chute right there. When they were crushing glass, all the glass crushers are still here. They're upstairs. When they were crushing glass, they were using the grain elevators. That's the grain elevator continued from the first floor. They were using the grain elevators to move the crushed glass up and down. So, unfortunately, I gotta figure out how to clean that out. We're going up to the third floor now. But he brought in all these old timers. Oh, that's a big squirrel. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Holy shit. I had a raccoon. It's kind of sad. There was a huge raccoon in here, but I found him last weekend, passed away in between the garage and the mill. So I buried the little dude. Okay, sorry about that. It's a view out the back window. My nose is running, it's cold. They did weird stuff in this place too, though. Like, for some reason, the window continues down that slot, but then they blocked it off. I don't know. And there was at some point there was a fire in here. A little bit of charred wood. So I don't know if the grain mill caught on fire, and that's kind of what took it out of production, or if this was later, or I don't know. I was going through a couple different historical societies. Randolph, New York, and the Cattaraugus County, their historical society. That's pretty much where I've got all my information from. So they were running the recycling center, and that dam that powered the hydroelectric power plant, the dam burst, and it wiped out the upper pond, and that killed the ability to make power. That's that same grain bin just from the third floor. And that pretty much killed the entire alternative energy center. So as far as I can tell, they pretty much closed up shop after that, and the mill sat abandoned. That's kind of like the fourth floor, really. The stairs are good. Everything's good up there, but I don't usually go up there. I've had that door open. There's a door, and that is that's sketchy as all hell. So they sold the mill. It kind of loses. There's a gap where it really just sat abandoned for a few years, and they sold the mill to, or the mill was purchased by a couple local people here in town, and they were storing construction equipment in it. And see, this is some of the glass. This is the chute that they made, and they were dumping the glass down into the grain elevator, or grain chute. It's pretty cool because you can see all the hand-hewn marks, and then you can see where it was all pinned together. So it's all post and beam, and then wood pins. Which is pretty neat. And it's just the size of the trees they had back then. I don't even think we have trees that big anymore. And you see where that one's cut. That's downstairs. The other piece of that is downstairs. And then there was another piece of a tower right here. Actually, this whole piece of this whole section of the mill has been rebuilt. A tornado or a storm came through and collapsed the roof on it. So the owner at the time brought in the Amish, and he ran a construction company. So between his company and the Amish, they rebuilt it. And then just for extra light, they put in sunroof, which is cool. I'm going to leave that. I like that a lot. Kind of another, just more view. So how I came to own it. I was in the process of moving my mom from California to New York, and I was looking for. I was actually looking for a storage shed or a garage, or I was living in an apartment at the time, so I didn't have a lot of room. And in between finding her a house and selling the house in California, I needed some sort of space to house her stuff. So I was on Zillow, or I think it was one of the realtor apps. Yeah. So here's a. Oh, let's see if I can get it. Oh yeah. Okay. So that's where they had the Pelton wheel that was fed by the pipe, and the Pelton wheel's actually in there. I have to. Yeah, I don't think you can see it. But this shaft right here leads into that concrete bunker structure. And then this was the lever that turned it on. And this wall is where they had all the electronics for the hydro plant, and that's actually in that corner. I'll do a whole video on that. I'm gonna do a museum and showcase everything that was here, and this is gonna be the main part of the museum. So yeah, sorry. So I sorted cheapest to most expensive, and this place was the first place on there, and it was just basically in an abandoned warehouse is what it was called, 3-story abandoned warehouse. And I contacted the realtor, and the realtor contacted the owners. They didn't have a realtor, they were just going private party. And I met with them, and they gave me the story. I came out here and met with them, and they gave me the walkthrough and everything. Nice people, really cool. They gave me the story of this place. And from that point on, I was like, okay, sold. I had to buy it. So my plans for it, I'm going to open up that an 1800s style general store. I'm going to do like the old candies and just all that old cool stuff. And then I'm going to get together with, actually, we'll walk up here. What the hell? We got a little bit of snow. I shot down the creek or stream or whatever we want to call it. And I'm gonna get together with some of the like local artists or craftsmen, like woodworkers and such. And this is where you watch Chris die. Something's been up here. So I'm gonna get a hold of local craftsmen and artists and woodworkers and kind of give them pretty much like a brick and mortar, to sell their wares. And then we have a large Amish community up here. This is like the New York Amish Trail runs through here. So I'm gonna see if I can get together with them and maybe sell some of their stuff also. Maybe some antiques. There are huge deer back here. Well, huge for New York. I mean, this is the back of the mill. Someone's home. Maybe. All kinds of traffic. There was a bear back here. So I seen him last year, like kind of right over there on the other side of the pond. This is the this is the pond right here, and that's the spillway that fed one of the waterfalls. And then this is the entrance. This is the race that fed the Pelton wheel. Pretty cool view. And then it came with, it's got like a 4.5 bay pole barn on the property. see if I can get down this without busting my ass. All right, cool. So I don't want to sand these floors. I want to just restore them without sanding. But I gotta look into that. And I'm not actually sure how old these are, but it's got at least 4 different style of flooring in here. This is all diagonal cut. And this was the office to the recycling center. It's all falling down and crappy. It's just great linoleum though. Give you guys a little $1941 and a 1963 Playboy. But yeah, so I wanted to give kind of a little history to this place. And kind of give you an actual tour around it. As soon as something opens up, I'm gonna get a hold of the local historical society, Randolph Historical Society. Yeah. So I don't know. That's nasty. Yeah. I'm just gonna wall that in. Not really. And I want to start the process of getting this place listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. And then I want to get there's the blue history plaques. The list the history of it. I want to look into getting that set up too. There's all kinds of Chase and Sanborn. No idea. I don't know how old that is. An old STP can though. I think it's old. I could be wrong. But yeah, I'll go my next video I'll go into, oh yeah, there's another one right there. I think that one's I think that one's the water heater. Or it could be another air heater. But in my next video, I'll go into all the different projects that they were kind of working on that I can find information for. And show you guys some of the neat stuff I found in here. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. All right. Well, hey, thank you very much. I hope you liked it. I hope it wasn't horrible. It's kind of my first go at doing stuff like this. And I'm lighting the light. So there we go. Yeah, okay, better. This is really kind of my first go and run at doing videos. So they'll get better. Editing will get better. It won't all suck. But thanks for checking it out. I'm gonna go get warm, go get coffee. I'm dying. I'll see you guys later. All right, bye.